Hey everyone, welcome to Watch the Stories. Here we bring you the most emotional, dramatic, and unforgettable tales from every corner of life. So sit back, relax, and get ready to feel every emotion. Because this is where stories come alive. I never thought I'd see him again, not like this anyway, standing frozen on the sidewalk while I stepped out of a world he could never touch. The air smells like rain and expensive leather. My heart is a drum, steady and strong, but my hands are trembling as Alexander's fingers close gently around mine. I don't look back. I won't. But I feel Daniel's stare like a brand on my skin, hot and desperate and too late. 3 months ago, I was the woman who made his coffee in the morning, who ironed his shirts, who pretended not to smell perfume that wasn't mine. 3 months ago, I was dying in a marriage that looked perfect from the outside. Now I'm standing in front of the Meridian Hotel under a canopy of lights, wearing a dress that cost more than our old rent, and the man beside me, tall, commanding, impossibly patient, is the one who taught me I was never small. I am not the same woman Daniel married, Mia. Alexander's voice is low, private, meant only for me despite the crowd. You're shaking. I'm fine, I whisper, but my voice cracks. He leans closer. His cologne wraps around me. Sandalwood and something darker, something that makes my pulse quicken. You don't have to be fine. Not with me. I finally let myself look at Daniel. He's standing beside a parking meter, mouth open like he's forgotten how to close it. The woman next to him, young, blonde, bored, is tugging at his sleeve, but he doesn't move. His eyes are locked on me, and I see it. The exact moment he realizes what he's lost. It feels like swallowing fire. 6 months ago, I found the receipts. Hotel rooms. Jewelry I never received. Dinners at restaurants we'd never been to together. I'd been folding laundry when they fell out of his jacket pocket. Crisp, damningly specific. My hands had gone numb. My vision had tunneled. And I'd stood there in our bedroom holding evidence of my own irrelevance while the dryer hummed cheerfully in the next room. I didn't cry. Not then. I waited until he came home smelling like someone else's shampoo, and I asked him, simple, direct. Are you cheating on me, Daniel? He'd laughed. Jesus, Mia, you're paranoid. I work late. You know that? Then explain these. I'd held up the receipts. His face had shuddered, closed like a door slamming. You're going through my pockets now? What are you, my mother? And that was it. No apology. No explanation. Just anger that I'd dared to question him. That night, I slept in the guest room. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Mrs. Chen? Alexander's assistant had said when I walked into his office 3 months ago, desperate and drowning. Mr. Frost will see you now. I'd expected someone cold, someone transactional. Instead, I got a man who listened, really listened, as I explained my idea for a consulting firm, my background in marketing, the savings I'd hidden away in an account Daniel didn't know about. Alexander had leaned back in his leather chair, eyes sharp and assessing, and said, "Tell me what you want." Not what I needed. What I wanted. No one had asked me that in years. I want to build something that's mine, I'd said. Something no one can take away. He'd smiled then, slow, devastating. Then let's build it. Now 3 months later, Chen and Associates is real, thriving, and Alexander, Alexander, has become something I didn't expect. A partner, a friend, and maybe terrifyingly something more, shall we? He says now, offering his arm. I take it. His muscles are solid beneath my palm, steady in a way Daniel never was. We move toward the hotel entrance, and I hear Daniel call my name. Mia. Wait, Alexander pauses, doesn't turn, just raises one eyebrow in silent question. Your call. I could ignore him, should ignore him. But there's a part of me, small, wounded, still bleeding, that needs to hear what he'll say. Needs to watch him scramble. I turn slowly. Daniel is hurrying toward us now, leaving the blonde behind. He looks smaller than I remember. Older. Mia, He stops 3 feet away, eyes darting between me and Alexander. You look different. I am different. Can we talk, please? Just 5 minutes. Alexander's hand settles on my lower back. Possessive. Protective. The lady has plans? Daniel's jaw tightens. I'm her husband. Ex-husband, I correct softly. As of 3 weeks ago. The color drains from his face. You actually went through with it? I almost laugh. Almost. Did you think I wouldn't? I thought, he runs a hand through his hair, the gesture achingly familiar. I thought we could work it out. I made mistakes, but mistakes, the word tastes like poison. You had affairs, Daniel. Plural, for years. It didn't mean anything. It meant everything. My voice doesn't shake now. It cuts. It meant I wasn't enough. It meant our vows were negotiable. It meant you thought I'd always be there waiting while you did whatever you wanted. Mia, I'm done waiting. Alexander's thumb traces a small circle against my spine, grounding me. Daniel sees it. His face twists. Who is this guy? He demands. Alexander Frost, Alexander says pleasantly. And you're blocking the entrance. The name registers. I watch Daniel's eyes widen with recognition. Alexander Frost, CEO of Frost Enterprises, one of the most powerful men in the city. The man whose signature on a contract can make or break careers. Daniel looks between us again, and I see the exact moment he understands. You're with him? We should go, I murmur to Alexander. But Daniel grabs my wrist. Mia, please. Don't do this. We can fix this. I love you. Alexander moves fast, not violently but with absolute authority. His hand closes over Daniel's wrist and his voice drops to something dangerous. Let her go. Daniel releases me instantly. Thank you, Alexander says coldly, then looks at me. Ready? I nod. We walk past Daniel, past his shock and regret into the golden glow of the hotel. My heart is hammering, but my steps are steady. Behind us, I hear Daniel call out one last time. I never stopped loving you. I don't look back, but Alexander does. And though I can't see his face, I hear the ice in his voice when he says, Then you should have treated her like you meant it. The doors close behind us, sealing out the past, and I finally breathe. Alexander doesn't speak until we're in the elevator. Then he turns to me, and the careful control in his expression cracks just enough for me to see something raw underneath. Are you all right? I lean against the mirrored wall, my reflection showing a woman I'm still learning to recognize. Poised, elegant, untouchable. I don't know what I am. You're extraordinary. His voice is quiet, definite. You've always been extraordinary. He was just too much of a fool to see it. The elevator climbs smoothly toward the rooftop restaurant. We're alone in this small ascending box, and suddenly the space feels impossibly intimate. I can smell his cologne, feel the heat radiating from his body barely 3 feet away. When did he become so essential? When did his opinion start mattering more than my own reflection? You didn't have to do that, I say. Stand up to him like that. Yes, I did. His eyes, dark, intense, completely focused, hold mine. You think I'd let anyone treat you with anything less than reverence? Reverence. The word shivers through me. The elevator dings. Doors open onto a candlelit restaurant with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. It's beautiful, expensive, exclusive. The kind of place Daniel always promised to take me but never did. Mr. Frost, Ms. Chen. The maitre d' materializes instantly. Your table is ready. We're led to a corner spot, private, secluded. Alexander pulls out my chair himself, his fingers brushing my bare shoulder as I sit. That small touch sends electricity racing down my spine. Get it together. Mia. But I can't. Not when he sits across from me, lamplight catching the sharp angles of his face, making him look like some Renaissance painting come to life. Not when his gaze hasn't left mine since we sat down. Tell me the truth, he says after the waiter takes our order. How long were you planning to file for divorce before you actually did it? I fold my napkin carefully. 2 years. His expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. 2 years. I kept hoping he'd change. That I'd wake up one morning and it would be like the beginning again. I laugh, but it sounds hollow. Stupid, right? Human. He reaches across the table and his hand covers mine. His palm is warm, slightly rough. You loved him. You fought for your marriage. That's not stupid, Mia, that's brave. Brave would have been leaving sooner. Brave is leaving at all. His thumb strokes across my knuckles, a touch so gentle it makes my throat tight. Do you know how many people stay in situations that destroy them because change is terrifying? You didn't. You saved yourself. You helped, I whisper. I gave you capital and business advice. You built everything else. He pauses, and when he speaks again, his voice is lower, rougher. You built yourself into someone unstoppable. Our food arrives. Beautiful plates I barely register because all I can focus on is the way Alexander is looking at me. Like I'm the only person in this crowded restaurant. Like I'm something precious. When did this happen? When did my business partner become the man who makes my breath catch? Can I ask you something? I say after the waiter leaves. Anything. Why did you agree to help me that first day? You don't know me. I walked into your office with a half-formed business plan in desperation. You could have sent me away. He's quiet for a long moment, studying his wine glass. Then, because I saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself yet. What? He looks up and the intensity in his gaze nearly undoes me. Fire, brilliance, the kind of strength that can't be taught. His voice drops. And maybe because the moment you walked into my office, I knew my life was about to change. He looks up and the intensity in his gaze nearly undoes me. Fire, brilliance, the kind of strength that can't be taught. His voice drops. And maybe because the moment you walked into my office, I knew my life was about to change. My heart stops, restarts, races. Alexander, I'm not saying this to pressure you. He leans forward. And suddenly there's no table between us. No other diners, no world beyond this conversation. You've been through hell. You're rebuilding. The last thing you need is another man complicating your life. Then why are you saying it? His smile is slow, devastating. Because I'm tired of pretending I only think about you in a professional capacity. The air between us crackles. I should pull back. Should remind him we have a business relationship. Should protect myself from falling into another situation where I lose myself in someone else. But God help me. I don't want to. What are you thinking? He asks softly. That I'm terrified. Of me? Of this. I gesture between us. Of wanting something again. Of being wrong. He reaches across the table with both hands now, cradling mine like there's something fragile. Mia, I can't promise you won't get hurt. Life doesn't work that way. But I can promise that I will never treat you like you're disposable. You deserve someone who sees your worth every single day. And you see it? My voice barely works. I see you. His thumbs trace patterns on my wrists, finding my racing pulse. Smart, resilient, funny, sexy as hell. And before you say you're not, he cuts off my automatic protest. You are. The way you bite your lip when you're concentrating. The way you throw your head back when you laugh. The way you look tonight stepping out of that car like you owned the entire city. I'm melting. Actually melting. I shouldn't want this, I whisper. Why not? Because it's too soon. Because you're my business partner. Because I'm still figuring out who I am without Daniel. Those are all valid reasons. His voice is steady, patient. But they're not the real reason. What's the real reason? He leans even closer, and I can feel his breath against my lips. Because you're scared of how much you already feel. I can't breathe. Can't think. Can't do anything except stare at this man who sees straight through every defense I've built. My phone buzzes in my purse, once, twice, 3 times. Alexander sits back, releasing my hands. You should check that, I don't want to. But I dig out my phone and see 7 missed calls from Daniel. And 1 text that makes my blood run cold. We need to talk about the company. Our lawyers need to discuss asset division. That includes any businesses started during the marriage. My company. He's coming after my company. Mia? Alexander sees my face change. What is it? I show him the text. Watch his expression harden into something dangerous. He can't do this, I breathe. I started it after I filed. After you filed, but were you still legally married? Yes, but then he might have a claim. Alexander's jaw tightens. Let me make some calls. No. I set my phone down, and despite the panic clawing at my chest, I feel something else rising. Rage. Pure, clarifying rage. No more calls. No more negotiations. I'm done letting him take things from me. Mia, I'll handle this. I stand, my chair scraping back. I need to go. He's on his feet instantly. Not alone. Not when you're this upset. Alexander, my car, my driver. Non-negotiable. His hand finds my lower back again, that now familiar touch that grounds me. Let me take you home, please. I nod because I don't trust my voice. We leave the restaurant, Alexander's hand never leaving my back. In the elevator down, neither of us speaks. But when the doors close and we're alone again, he turns to me. Whatever happens with Daniel, whatever legal battles come next, you won't face them alone. Why are you doing this? I ask, and I hate how vulnerable I sound. Why do you care so much? He reaches up and his fingers trace my jawline with unbearable gentleness. Because you're not just my business partner, Mia. You haven't been for a long time. The elevator doors open. Reality floods back in, but the feeling of his fingers on my skin remains, burning long after he pulls away. His driver is waiting. Alexander opens the car door himself, helps me in like I'm something precious. Then he slides in beside me, close enough that our thighs touch. The car pulls into traffic. City lights streak past the windows, and Alexander's hand finds mine in the darkness between us, threading our fingers together. "Whatever happens next," he says quietly, "I'm not going anywhere." I squeeze his hand, unable to speak past the emotion clogging my throat. And for the first time in years, I believe someone when they promise to stay. Alexander's penthouse is nothing like I imagined. I'd pictured cold minimalism, all glass and steel and expensive emptiness. Instead, I find warmth. Rich woods, deep leather furniture, bookshelves crammed with worn paperbacks alongside business journals, a telescope by the floor-to-ceiling windows pointing at the night sky. "You live like a human," I say, and immediately regret how stupid it sounds. He laughs, a real laugh, unguarded. "What did you expect, a lair? Maybe." We'd come here after the car ride because I'd been shaking too hard to go home to my empty apartment, and Alexander had simply said, "My place. We'll strategize, but now that we're here, alone in his private space with the door locked and the city spread below us like a carpet of stars, strategy is the last thing on my mind." He shrugs out of his jacket, loosens his tie. The simple domesticity of it makes my heart stutter. "Drink?" He's already moving toward the bar. Something strong. He pours 2 glasses of whiskey, neat, expensive, and brings one to me. Our fingers brush during the exchange, and neither of us pulls away as quickly as we should. "To fighting battles worth fighting," he says, raising his glass. "And winning them." We drink. The whiskey burns down my throat, spreads warmth through my chest. "Let me see the text again," he says. I hand him my phone. Watch his eyes scan the message, his jaw tightening incrementally with each word. "He's bluffing," Alexander says finally. "How do you know?" "Because you filed before launching the business. Your lawyer can prove the timeline." He steps closer, and suddenly the air feels thinner. "But he's not really after the company, Mia. He's after you." "What do you mean?" "He saw you tonight. Saw you thriving. Saw you with me." Alexander's voice drops lower, more intimate. He realizes what he lost, and now he's scrambling to maintain some control over you. I set my glass down because my hands are shaking again. I hate that he can still do this. Still reach into my life and twist things. He can't. Not if you don't let him. Easy to say. Mia. Alexander closes the distance between us until we're inches apart. His hand comes up, cups my face, and I stop breathing entirely. "He had you for years and treated you like you were ordinary. I've known you for 3 months, and I can't imagine a world where you're anything less than extraordinary. Who do you think sees the truth?" Tears prick my eyes. I blink them back furiously. "Don't make me cry. I've cried enough over Daniel to last a lifetime. Then don't cry over him." His thumb catches a tear that escapes anyway. "Cry because you're finally free. Because you're standing in my penthouse at midnight and every rule we set is about to break." My breath catches. "Alexander, tell me to stop." His other hand finds my waist, pulls me closer. "Tell me this is too soon, too complicated, too risky. Tell me you don't feel this thing between us and I'll step back." I should tell him to stop. Should protect myself. Should remember that 3 months ago I was married to a man who destroyed me. "I can't," I whisper. "Can't what?" "Can't tell you to stop. Can't pretend I don't feel this." I reach up, my palm against his chest, feeling his heart hammered beneath the expensive fabric of his shirt. Can't keep lying to myself about what I want. "And what do you want, Mia?" The way he says my name, rough, reverent, undoes something in me. "You," I breathe. "God help me, I want you." The last thread of restraint snaps. Alexander's mouth comes down on mine, and it's nothing like Daniel's kisses. Nothing perfunctory or distracted or half-hearted. This is devastation. This is claiming. His lips move against mine with a hunger that steals my breath, and when I gasp, he deepens the kiss. His tongue sliding against mine in a rhythm that makes my knees weak. I grab his shirt, pulling him closer, and he groans into my mouth, a sound so primal it sends heat flooding through me. His hands slide down my back, settle on my hips, lift me effortlessly onto the kitchen island behind us. I wrap my legs around his waist instinctively, and he steps between them, never breaking the kiss. "Mia," he murmurs against my lips. "Tell me if this is too much. It's not enough. He pulls back just far enough to look at me, and what I see in his eyes makes me dizzy. Want, need, but also tenderness. Care. I need you to understand something, he says, his voice ragged. This isn't casual for me. You're not casual for me. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm falling for you. His hands frame my face, thumbs stroking my cheekbones. I know it's fast. I know you're still healing. But I need you to know where I stand before we do this. My heart is going to break out of my chest. Alexander, you don't have to say it back. I just need you to know that when I touch you. His hand slides down my neck across my collarbone and I shiver. It means something. You mean something. I pull him back to me, kissing him with everything I have. All the loneliness, all the fear. All the desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, I get a second chance at something real. He kisses me back like I'm oxygen, like I'm the answer to a question he's been asking his whole life. His hands slide up my thighs, and then my phone rings. We both freeze. His forehead drops to mine, and I feel him smile against my lips. Worst timing in history. Ignore it, but it rings again. And again, I grab my phone from the counter. Daniel's name flashes on the screen. Don't answer it, Alexander says immediately. I have to. If I don't, he'll just keep calling. I swipe to answer, putting it on speaker. What? Mia, we need to talk about the company. My lawyer says, your lawyer can call my lawyer on Monday. I interrupt. Do not contact me directly again. Mia, please, she said no. Alexander's voice is ice. Respect it. There's a long pause. Then Daniel's voice comes back, tight with anger. Of course you're with him. How long has this been going on, Mia? Were you fucking him while we were still married? Rage floods through me. How dare you? You act like I'm the villain, but you moved on pretty damn fast. I filed for divorce before I ever met Alexander. I spit back. But even if I hadn't, you lost the right to question me the first time you cheated. You wanted me to stay small, to stay grateful, to stay quiet while you did whatever you wanted. Well, I'm done being small. I'm done with you. I hang up. Turn off my phone. And then I'm shaking for real, adrenaline crashing through me in waves. Hey. Alexander's hands are on my shoulders, steady and warm. Breathe. I can't believe he... Breathe. Mia. I force air into my lungs. Once. Twice. Alexander's thumbs trace soothing circles on my shoulders, and gradually my heart rate slows. I'm sorry, I whisper. For what? For ruining the moment. For bringing my mess into your home. He tips my chin up gently. Your mess is my mess now. That's what this means. And just like that, I'm crying. Really crying. Not pretty tears. Ugly, gulping sobs that shake my whole body. Years of holding it together, of being strong, of pretending I'm fine, finally crack open. Alexander doesn't tell me to stop. Doesn't look uncomfortable. He just pulls me against his chest and holds me while I fall apart. I've got you, he murmurs into my hair. I've got you. And somehow, impossibly, I believe him. When the tears finally slow, he carries me to his bedroom, gives me one of his t-shirts to sleep in, and tucks me under the covers with a tenderness that makes my chest ache. Stay with me, I whisper. He hesitates. Mia, just hold me, please. He slides into bed beside me, fully clothed, and pulls me against his chest. I curl into his warmth, breathing in his scent, feeling his heartbeat steady beneath my palm. Thank you, I whisper into the darkness. For what? For seeing me? For not running? For being exactly what I needed? His arms tighten around me. Get some rest. Everything else can wait until morning. I close my eyes. Safe in his arms, and for the first time in years, I sleep without nightmares. I wake up in Alexander's bed wearing his t-shirt. For one disorienting moment, I panic. Did we? But then I remember. After I'd cried myself empty last night, he'd carried me to his bedroom, given me something to sleep in, and tucked me under the covers with a tenderness that made my chest ache. Then he'd left, presumably to sleep on the couch. The man is either a saint or insane. Pale morning light filters through the curtains. I check my phone, still off. Good. The real world can wait a little longer. I pad out of the bedroom barefoot, following the smell of coffee. And there he is, Alexander Frost, CEO and titan of industry, standing in his kitchen making breakfast in sweatpants and a worn Stanford t-shirt. His hair is mussed. He hasn't shaved. He looks human and beautiful and nothing like the polished businessman I've been partnering with. "Morning," he says without turning around. "How do you take your eggs?" "However they come." I slide onto a bar stool, watching him move around the kitchen with easy competence. "You didn't have to do this. I wanted to." He plates scrambled eggs, toast, fruit. Sets it in front of me with a mug of perfectly made coffee. Cream, no sugar, exactly how I like it. He remembers. We eat in comfortable silence for a while. "Then how are you feeling?" "Embarrassed." "Don't be. I cried all over your very expensive shirt. It'll survive." His eyes meet mine, steady and sure. "You needed to let it out. I'm glad you felt safe enough with me to do it." Safe? When was the last time I felt truly safe with someone? My phone buzzes on the counter. I'd turned it back on while making coffee. The screen lights up with a cascade of notifications. 3 voicemails from Daniel, 2 texts from my lawyer, and 1 message from a number I don't recognize. "You think you're so smart? He'll get bored of you just like Daniel did." My blood runs cold. Alexander sees my face change. "What is it?" I show him the message. Watch his jaw tighten dangerously. "That son of a..." My lawyer's text catches my eye. Urgent. "Call me immediately." I dial with shaking fingers. She answers on the first ring. "Mia, Daniel's lawyer filed an emergency motion this morning. They're claiming you hid marital assets and demanding full accounting of your business finances." Can they do that? They can try. But here's the real problem. They've subpoenaed Alexander Frost's financial records, claiming he provided startup capital that should be considered a marital asset. The world tilts. They're going after Alexander? Alexander takes the phone gently from my hand, putting it on speaker. "This is Alexander Frost. What exactly are they alleging?" "That Ms. Chen had an extramarital affair during her marriage, and that you provided financial support that constitutes a marital asset subject to division." I feel sick. This is my fault. "I brought you into this mess. Stop." Alexander's hand finds mine, squeezes hard. "This is strategic harassment, nothing more." He addresses my lawyer. "Send me the filing. I'll have my legal team respond within the hour. They won't find anything because there's nothing to find. Every penny I invested was after her divorce filing, properly documented at market rates." "I'll send it now," my lawyer says. "But Mia, you should know they're pushing for an expedited hearing. They want this ugly in public." Alexander's eyes flash with something dangerous. "Then we'll give them public." He hangs up and immediately dials another number. "James, I need you to pull the Thompson file." "Yes, all of it. Every contract Daniel Chen ever signed with vendors we work with." "And James, I want the forensic accountant on this. If he's been cutting corners or hiding assets, I want to know." He hangs up and looks at me. "You don't fight dirty people with clean hands. You fight them with the truth." "Alexander, you can't." "I can and I will." He cups my face in his hands. "He came after you. He's trying to destroy what you built. He's harassing you with anonymous texts, and now he's dragging me into court to hurt you." His voice drops to something lethal. "Nobody hurts you and walks away clean. I don't want you to compromise yourself for me. This isn't compromise. It's protection." His thumbs stroke my cheekbones, and it's also justice. If Daniel's been unethical in his business dealings, that's relevant to the divorce proceedings. Community property works both ways. My phone buzzes again. Another unknown number. "Enjoying your sugar daddy? How much did you have to spread your legs for that startup money?" Rage floods through me, white hot and clarifying. I'm done being afraid. Done being the victim in Daniel's narrative. I call his number. He answers immediately. "Mia, call off your lawyers," I say, my voice deadly calm. "Stop the harassment. Stop the texts. Stop all of it. Or I go to the press with everything. You wouldn't dare. Every affair. Every lie. Every nasty text you're sending from burner phones." "And Daniel?" I let steel enter my voice. "I have proof. Screenshots. Hotel receipts you didn't know I kept. Testimony from the women you cheated with. Yes, I've talked to them. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to drop this emergency motion. You're going to sign the divorce papers without any more drama. And you're going to leave Alexander out of this." Silence stretches between us. "And if I don't?" His voice is smaller now, uncertain. "Then I'll make sure everyone knows exactly who you are. Your business partners. Your clients. Your family. The difference between you and me, Daniel? I have nothing left to lose. You have everything. I hear him breathing on the other end. Then, you've changed. No. You just finally pushed me far enough to fight back. Mia. His voice cracks. I really did love you, you know. Maybe you did in your way. But love isn't enough if you don't know how to respect someone. I look at Alexander, who's watching me with something like awe in his eyes. I deserve better. I always did. I just needed to believe it. I hang up, my hands are shaking, but my voice is steady when I turn to Alexander. I think I just ended my marriage. No. He pulls me into his arms. You just started your life. 3 weeks later, I'm standing in a conference room watching Daniel sign the final divorce papers. His lawyer looks exhausted. Daniel looks defeated. My lawyer slides the signed documents into her briefcase. Congratulations, Ms. Chen, you're officially divorced. Daniel stands, buttoning his jacket with jerky movements. He looks at me one last time. I hope he makes you happy. He does. I don't elaborate. Don't owe him anything else. He nods once and leaves. Alexander is waiting in the hallway outside. The moment he sees me, his face breaks into that devastating smile. How do you feel? Free. He takes my hand, threads our fingers together. Dinner to celebrate? Actually, I turn to face him fully. I have a better idea. Oh? I rise on my toes and kiss him right there in the courthouse hallway. Deep and thorough and full of promise. When we break apart, he's breathless. Take me home, Alexander. His eyes darken with understanding. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything. 6 months later, I'm standing at a gala for emerging women entrepreneurs. Chen & Associates has tripled in size. I'm wearing a ring on my left hand that catches the light with every movement. A sapphire surrounded by diamonds, chosen because Alexander said it reminded him of my eyes. We are not married. Not yet. But we will be when I'm ready. Right now, I'm exactly where I need to be. Successful, loved, whole. I catch sight of Daniel across the room. He's with another woman, blonde, young, bored-looking. Our eyes meet briefly. He raises his glass in what might be acknowledgement or surrender. I don't raise mine back. I simply turn to Alexander, who's deep in conversation with a potential investor, and slide my hand into his. He squeezes it automatically, glances at me with a smile that says, "You okay?" I nod because I am. Daniel taught me what I don't want, what I won't tolerate, what I deserve better than Alexander taught me what love actually looks like. Patient, respectful, seeing me not as something to possess but someone to partner with. But most importantly, I taught myself that I was never the problem, that I was always enough, that the woman who survived Daniel's betrayal was strong enough to build an empire, brave enough to love again, and wise enough to know the difference between a man who sees her as a prize and a man who sees her as priceless. Ready to go home? Alexander murmurs in my ear. Always. I lean into him. As long as home is wherever you are. He kisses my temple, and we walk out of the gala together, partners in business, in love, in life. Daniel was right about one thing. I did change. I became unstoppable, and I've never looked back.